And now, for a session sponsored by Visit Tucson, please welcome the Senior Vice President of Sales at Visit Tucson, Graeme Hughes, in conversation with SkiftX Vice President, Townsend.
Hey, Graeme, welcome.
Good morning, Kat. Great to be on Skift. How are you?
Good, good. I want to start off by asking you a question that's usually kind of innocuous, but how's the weather in Tucson?
Couldn't be better. Anybody who's ever visited the desert Southwest knows how beautiful a raining morning is in this part of the country. It just changes everything from the mountains to the landscape to people's attitudes. As odd as it may seem this time of year, rain is absolutely welcome in Tucson.
I was going to say, we actually worked on a video series together not too long ago where we featured a number of different outdoor opportunities in Tucson, specifically as it relates to meetings and events. We talked about farm-to-table gardening and stargazing in the desert at night. We all are probably a little bit sick of being at home by now, so why don't you take us to Tucson, kind of give us a sense of the vibe in Tucson?
Well, I remember that visit well, and some of the things that we wanted to highlight really right off the bat were to change your perception of the destination. Everybody arrives in the desert with a thought of what it might be if they haven't been here before. So a lot of our work is kind of changing those perceptions and making aware and available all that this area has to offer. You know, we think about the topic of the conversations we're having today in this forum about outdoor travel. What I challenge is that outdoor travel and meetings and events aren't two different things. They really can coexist together, and intuitive planners are looking for how to incorporate outdoor experiences into their traditional meetings formats for a number of reasons. Changing demographic of meeting attendees, it's a younger, more active crowd. So if your afternoon excursions are to the airplane museum, which is fun, or the transportation museum, which is awesome, you might not be hitting home with that younger demographic of attendees. So Tucson really is a great solution to some of those challenges.
Fantastic. Yeah. Speaking of meetings and events, the title of this session is Going Beyond the Ballroom. I think, when we think about meetings and events, we often think about maybe not the best food and being inside and not really having an opportunity to experience a destination. So can you tell me a little bit more about how Tucson specifically thinks about meetings and events?
Well, the term beyond the ballroom is pretty descriptive, and it challenges planners and attendees to think about what's going to happen outside the four walls of their traditional meeting environment. We've got iconic hospitality brands in Tucson that cater to some of the most upscale and important meetings that are held in North America. Brands like Lowe's, Westin, JW Marriott. What we propose is that beyond that, knowing that those hospitality entities are going to take great care of your event and all the technical aspects of it, we want you to really choose a destination that allows you to put that part of your meeting in context and then really explore what's going on outside. And so Beyond the Ballroom really says explore nature. Tucson's an area surrounded by 5 different mountain ranges with elevations up to 9,000 feet above sea level. We're bordered on 2 sides by national parks, which is a really unique value proposition for any outdoor destination. You really, from any point in the metro area, you're 20 minutes away from a national park or a national forest trailhead. It's a really unique combination.
There's also the proximity to the U.S.-Mexico border. Can you just talk a little bit about how that influences kind of the general vibe and culture of Tucson?
Well, borderlands are unique, or a very unique part of this country, and I encourage everybody who hasn't visited borderlands to explore it. It might be a tenuous proposition given where you get your information and what your perception of the border may be, but as a resident of the borderlands of southern Arizona, I can tell you it's richly diverse, very eclectic, and the cross-border culture sharing is really what's one of the most unique things. You see very prominent influence in our architecture, in our art, in our language, in our cuisine. So if you're looking at North American destinations that can offer you a unique cultural experience that you don't get in some other more inland areas, I suggest meetings in Southern Arizona as one way to really accomplish that goal.
I'm thinking also, you know, food comes to mind, the culinary scene. I know that Tucson in 2015, I think, was designated the first UNESCO city of gastronomy in the United States, which congratulations. But can you just tell me a little bit more about the food scene in Tucson and kind of what that designation is all about?
Well, the UNESCO City of Gastronomy is a real accomplishment. And while it was awarded in 2015, it really took about 10 years of work to accomplish that. We're one of now 2 cities in North America or in the United States that have that designation. And at first blush, you'd think it's about your food scene. Do you have great restaurants? Is there a lot of variety? And we do. That's absolutely a part of it. But it looks beyond that, sort of into the history of agriculture and agronomy in this desert-bordered region, going back to ancient Indians, the Hohokams, who originally were agricultural tribes that habitated the Santa Cruz River Valley. We're using today, through an organization called Native Seed Search, some of those very heritage grains that the ancient Indian tribes that first inhabited the area were using, from heirloom fruit trees to heritage grains. So it really becomes how we're sourcing the food. Where hospitality intersects with this designation is that we've been able to have large-scale hotels and resorts adopt this as one of their platforms and really immerse themselves into the farm to fork culture that our local restaurateurs had sort of cultivated. Now they have the depth and capacity or volume based on larger hotels and resorts getting involved with this project to really take that macro farming to another level and cultivate the City of Gastronomy designation even further.
And so if I were a meeting planner, how would I potentially think about incorporating food into a meeting and event?
Well, I think it's important that you get your group out of the hotel if time allows and experience some of the local restaurants, different types from Native American to Mexican American. Those influences are very heavy. And then, you know, great American Southwestern comfort food. Our hotel and resort chefs also do a great job of incorporating that into the menus that you're experiencing on the banquet floor during your traditional meeting setup. So I always encourage planners to meet with the chef, ask what they're doing relative to the City of Gastronomy designation, and then really make that part of the presentation, both live during the meal, explaining what the ingredients are, why they're significant, and other aspects of the event as well.
Food has always been a really important part of meetings and events, but one thing that we're also noticing is the increased importance of sort of moments of wellness or well-being integrated into events. You know, I know that Canyon Ranch was originally established in Tucson in the late 70s. And I came across this stat that Fitbit data says that meditation is up 2,900% globally during the pandemic. Can you just tell me a little bit more about Tucson's wellness heritage and the opportunities for wellness and well-being experiences available in Tucson?
Well, I don't want to credit the pandemic with anything, but if an awareness of mindfulness and wellness is a byproduct of what we're all experiencing, then Tucson's really well positioned to meet that need for travel in the future. You mentioned Canyon Ranch and Miraval. These are our iconic wellness brands, and they're located and originated in Tucson for a reason. There's something to do with the air, the sky, the mountains, the desert. These things really fold well into wellness and mindfulness. But that's always been part of our brand in Tucson. We've always really presented that as one of the reasons people should consider and visit the area. I think we're well positioned. We're not one of the destinations that is sort of reinventing itself post-pandemic in terms of what travel trends look like today. This is a destination that's always been at the forefront of wellness and mindfulness and health as it comes to group travel.
And when it comes to getting to Tucson, tell me a little bit about accessibility.
Well, accessibility, I'd say on our best day, we're a tier 3 destination. Meeting planners know what that designation means. And so a lot of times people are challenged with the concept of air accessibility. And I think that comes because of our physical proximity to Sky Harbor and Phoenix, the 6th largest city in North America. There's a geographic comparison there, but that's where it ends. Tucson International Airport pre-pandemic had over 60 daily flights to nonstop destinations throughout North America, served by all major airlines with connections to all their major hubs. The concept of my people don't like to change planes, any planner who's still hanging on to that post-pandemic, the way air travel has been scrambled, needs to really give that up and understand you're going to work a little harder, but the reward will be much greater.
Absolutely. Speaking of some of those rewards, you mentioned the kind of like the magic of the desert, really. And one of the things that we looked at in the series was the astronomy opportunities. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one thing that maybe doesn't come to mind when you think about planning a meeting and event. But can you just tell me a little more about Tucson's astronomical culture.
Look at astronomy as big business in southern Arizona. We have dark skies. We're a dark sky city, and that designation means that we've got ordinances that reduce light pollution so that the large astronomical installations at Kitt Peak or Mount Hopkins or Mount Lemmon that surround the valley have unfettered views of the night skies because we don't have light pollution. It's a really unique thing to incorporate into a group meeting or event. Say you've had an awards banquet or a final night dinner. Why not retire out onto the pool deck? We'll have 15 amateur astronomers out there with high-powered telescopes. And for a lot of people, they have never seen the night sky the way it presents itself here. So being an astronomy destination is important for astronomers. My challenge to folks who very rarely look at the night sky or get to because of where they live is to make that a component of your Tucson experience as well.
Super cool. I think we're coming up on time, but I really would love to just understand what we can look forward to in Tucson in 2021 and beyond.
As ironic as it sounds, because now is not a great time to launch a new product, we've always been known as a resort destination. It's ironic because we've always had full service hotels that handle meetings and events and leisure travel very well, but we're known as a resort destination, from iconic brands that I mentioned before to a lot of independently and locally owned boutique properties. Adding to that, coming online right now is an expanded and renovated Tucson Convention Center with 800 brand new hotel rooms in the downtown core, really celebrating what's been the evolution of Tucson's downtown entertainment district. The fact that we're trying to launch this mid-pandemic is troublesome, but we'll continue that effort beyond. So planners who had always seen us as a resort destination can take another look, because now you can have a desert meeting with an urban vibe, meet in the downtown Tucson core, new hotel room product, new convention center, great entertainment, nightlife, restaurants, etc., but still have access to all the things we've been talking about in terms of outdoors and nature.
Well, thank you so much, Graeme, for being here. I cannot wait to visit Tucson. Look forward to meeting you there. I just want to mention for our audience, if you are interested in learning more, please visit TucsonOnUs.com and visit the showcase page on the left-hand navigation. You can visit Tucson's showcase page to learn more and to reach out to Graeme directly, I think.
Thank you so much, Kat, for allowing us to be part of this forum today. It's great information.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to take it out on a video, so please roll the video. Thanks again.